Hey y'all, Kelly Whitney here with another thing older black women should tell younger black women but don't. Stop tolerating bad behavior from men. Actually, stop tolerating bad behavior from anybody. In the past, I did a video advocating what I like to call the 3-strike rule, meaning somebody has 3 times to jump crazy on you before they're removed. I would like to amend that. Let's knock it down to 2. You get 2 strikes. 1, we can excuse that. You may be having a moment, bad day, you don't feel good. Second time, no, that's a choice. We're gonna have to release you to the marketplace. And it's a message that I knew I had to come on here and talk to you guys about because I keep seeing it in different posts on social media. Case in point, I ran into an older gentleman whose handle on TikTok is purpose and resilience. I think he said he was 47. It's something about an older black man. When they write, they write. You know what I mean? But he was talking about how you shouldn't tolerate bad behavior. Now I said tolerate bad behavior from men because I know you guys are often looking for information about men. But this is really transferable to anybody, especially your family, your friends, and all those close relationships that can have a huge impact on your life when they ain't right. You see what I'm saying? In the video, this gentleman talked about how he met someone. He sparked a different way of thinking because he realized after watching his friend's behavior and learning his friend's history, he had been conditioned by his family to tolerate and accept bad behavior. It was having a hugely detrimental impact on his life. He was morbidly obese, talking about he was almost 400 pounds. He wasn't very successful at work, and his relationships were nothing to write home about either. The family wasn't going well. The relationships with women weren't going well. But he said when he saw his friend, who had grown up with a very loving and supportive family, when he saw how that friend responded to ill treatment, immediate refusal. For instance, somebody would yell at the friend and he'd say, oh no, and that was it. He would leave, get away from that person. This gentleman said, oh, she just yelled at you. And the friend told him, but if you accept that kind of behavior, that's who you are. A light bulb went off. He stopped giving people chances. And he realized that he had been conditioned his whole life by the chaos in his home, by the way his mother and father behaved toward each other and toward him, the language that they used to communicate. He realized he'd been conditioned to tolerate bad behavior. When he stopped tolerating bad behavior, he lost a shit ton of weight. He began to be more successful in his job. And he said his anxiety left, his depression left, all these negative feelings that were the result of that proximity to chaos, they started to melt away. And I've noticed the same thing in my life. So I would encourage you, don't tolerate bad behavior. It's 2 strikes. One time, okay, you may have gotten your feelings hurt. Somebody stepped on your favorite Jordans or whatever, you know the case may be. Okay, I'm gonna give you that one. That next one, because we've already established a pattern. You see what I'm saying? We're all adults at this big grand age of whatever it is. If you're over 18 and you're over the age of consent, you know what you're doing, at least to some degree, enough what you know not to do to somebody and what to do to somebody. Don't compromise when it comes to the type of behavior that you accept from other people, whether it's the opposite sex, friends, or family, because that has a huge impact on how you feel, and how you feel has a huge impact on what you do and how you live your life. Because I know when I stopped accepting bad behavior from folks, eventually those people kind of fell away and new people came in and took their place. People who knew how to behave, people who were not mired in bad habits, people who were not so close and familiar with toxicity. These people were more loving toward me. They were more gentle. They were more understanding. They were kinder. And in return, I began to emulate that same good behavior. My life changed. I felt different. And people noticed. People say, you've changed. I have indeed. I'm not negative. I'm not toxic. I'm not mean. I've chosen a different path. And I'm telling you, there's good things to be found on this particular path. Because a lot of times, especially when it comes to men will test you. They will treat you badly to see what they can get away with. And if you let them get away with it, they're going to push you. And they're going to go a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further each time until your ass is broken down. You don't feel so good anymore. You may not look good. And now you're under that person's thumb and he's doing you any old kind of way. Your ambition will go the way of the dodo. Your self-confidence will be in the toilet. All your routines that you've gotten acclimated to doing for your self-improvement, all that shit is out the window because now you're trying to make this person happy and you might be making excuses for them. That's a trap. Get out of that. And it's not even men all the time. Sometimes it could be your family members. It could be your friends. Focus on the people who do right by you, the people who are openly loving and caring towards you, because those are the people who are setting a good example for how you're supposed to behave, how you're supposed to live your life, and how you're supposed to be treated and treat others. And this gentleman said once he adopted this new mindset, he realized he wasn't going to be lonely, even though he started cutting people off left and right. Instead, he found a circle of people who believed as he did, and he was happier and more fulfilled than he had ever been before in his life. If you want to cultivate that kind of satisfaction and that kind of behavior and that kind of treatment, you can, but you got to exercise the demons. You see what I'm saying? You got to get rid of these toxic ass people who are conditioned to dish out and want you to accept bad behavior. Get rid of that shit. People don't have to act ugly. People don't have to fuss. They don't have to fight. They don't have to do all that extraneous nonsense. Make it up in your mind that you're not going to tolerate bad behavior and stand on that business. And I think that older Black women don't always talk to younger Black women about not tolerating bad behavior, because sadly, sometimes we are the perpetuators of the bad behavior. Because I know my mom, she's a real mean talker. I had to unlearn that shit. My sister is the same way. Talk real ugly, real mean, as a matter of course. Now, I can't really spend that much time around them. It's not that I don't care about my family. I simply cannot be in their company too long because I get anxious. I get jittery. I find myself getting irritable. And no, it's a hard pass for me on that, because I know another way to be now. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times, older Black women, we get stuck in these patterns of behavior, and we may not know another way of being. But that doesn't mean you can't learn one or unlearn whatever you've been taught by us. Unlearn it, because it ain't right. Life is to be lived, and you don't have to live foul, period. Someone who's nice, they're not weak. Somebody who's gentle and kind, they're not weak. Being consistently nice is one of the hardest things you can do. Trust me. So lean into a different way of living. Stop tolerating bad behavior, whether it's from men, family, friends, whomever. There are kind, generous, loving people out there who will not talk to you 10-carat crazy. Find that tribe. You will not regret it. Well, I hope you guys got a little bit of encouragement out of this video, and I hope you guys come back for the next one.